Hi guys, so before the video starts, a few things. One, instead of a black screen whenever I do stuff like this, I'm gonna be showing this photo because he's just so damn cute. Uh, and the black screen is just boring as hell. Second, as of as of posting this, both of the lions are sold. Yay! Um, so yeah, both of the lions are sold and will be going to their homes at whatever time that happens. So yay, I'm extremely happy about that. The sale worked. So I'm relieved more than anything else, honestly. Cause I was just so worried that it wasn't gonna happen at all. But it did, and I can't even. So you won't hear me talk about that anymore unless something falls through and I have to put one of them, or if life hates me, both of them back on sale. So, yay, that happened. And third, I made a couple of clarification mistakes. It seems like when I was making this video, I was saying things in my head that I wasn't saying out loud. Dyslexia does that to you. I don't script, so yeah. And I don't script just because I like to keep things emotionally relevant and genuine. So that can cause some problems sometimes if I don't realize that I am not saying the words out of my mouth and just in my head. So the video is going to pause a couple times to clarify my clarification mistakes. And I'm just warning you now because I know that that can get annoying sometimes when the video just stops abruptly out of nowhere and you hear this displaced voice that doesn't sound the same as anything else because I'm using a totally different recording device to do it. I know it can be a little disconcerting. It's weird to me when I have to record it and then I have to make it all kind of match in tone and blah blah blah, editing blah blah blah. So yeah, I just want to warn you guys beforehand that that's a thing, and I apologize, and I will try to do better in the future to make sure that I hit everything that I'm supposed to. Ugh. And of course, I want to apologize again for how late this video came out. Hopefully the part for the generator will come in soon-ish, maybe, and I won't have to worry about the power outages so much, because that'll be at least one less thing that I'll have to worry about. And with spring break next week, hopefully I'll be able to do a video without any problems. I'll be able to find time to do something and not worry about school or stress or homework or any of that fun stuff. So yeah, thank you for your patience and just sticking through with me, and let's get to the video.
Hi guys, Steven Fair here. I'm sorry if the lighting's like a little low. Overhead light, still dead. Working on it. Ugh. Also, you may notice a change of scenery here. We have my articulated tail by Dragon Soup. You can see my unboxing video up on the card. And Iggy's tank has been moved. The tail was being stored in my closet, and what happened was I took it out of the closet and it was bent. So I realized it cannot be stored in any way that bends it. So it has to hang up from the ceiling. So I'm using one of the chains that helped hold Iggy's light stable, since he is not using it anymore. So this is going to be a new addition to the backdrop. It's big. Oh, goodness. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about a topic that I don't see a lot of people talk about when it comes to owning a fursuit. You see everyone talk about how to get a fursuit, Should you get a fursuit? Why not to get a fursuit? But no one talks about, what do you do when you need to replace a fursuit? I've had to replace Django. I replaced Indian Ferret. There's another suit that I've had to replace, and yet another head that I have to replace. And this is just a thing that comes with age. The Demon Ferret is 4 years old.
First point of clarification, while she is 4 years old, she's almost 5. This becomes relevant later.
And considering that she's the second suit I ever made, that's pretty good. But she's not going to last much longer. She only has a couple of years left. And then after that, I won't be able to maintain her much longer. So she has to be replaced. And this is something that a lot of fursuit owners and fursuit makers have to take into account. When does something need to be replaced, and what do you do? Well, the first thing you always need to take into account is assess when your fursuit is beyond the point of no return. And this is where I see the most mistakes. You see a lot of fursuits out there that look awful, like really bad. And their explanation is always, well, it's old. Okay, yeah, but it's falling apart. Like, you're beating this thing into the ground. Have you no sympathy? So, my first note is always, when a fursuit can no longer be repaired, or when fur quality or something along those lines becomes so damaged, either due to an accident or due wear and tear, where there's nothing that can be done, it's probably time to replace. Another is if the suit just isn't holding up to how you wear it. Maybe you started dancing or something like that and your suit doesn't hold up anymore to your activity. That might also be a time to replace. The suit itself might be totally fine, quality-wise. But if it can't hold up to its intent, don't force it to do so. It's like trying to get a motorcycle to be a car. Yeah, they work similarly, but they're not the same thing. And I know that it can be a bit emotional, or nerve-wracking, or annoying to have to replace a suit. This is how it was for me in Django. And Django had to be replaced because of improper cleaning methods. At the time I made him, things like Lysol and Febreze were being peddled around as proper disinfectants for suits. They are not. They are extremely dangerous. And anyone who knows me today knows that I am a huge advocate for never touching these, ever. Even today, that old head is 5 years old. I still have it. If you put it on, you get instantly sick. Because the alcohols, and in some cases, in certain Lysol products, acetone, and other corrosive materials destroy the foam and the fur and allow the other chemicals to seep inside. And then when you sweat, it reactivates those chemicals, and it's a back and forth. And it's almost impossible to wash them out. He had to be replaced. There was no choice. He might have had a couple more years in him. I had to replace him when he was 1 year old. 1. But I had no choice. He is a hazard to people's health. And not because he's dirty, but because he's full of chemicals. And it's awful. And it was an awful feeling knowing I had made this mistake. And I try to remind myself it was an honest mistake, but I still beat myself up for not reading the ingredients on what I was using. Just stick with alcohol, okay? Just stick with isopropyl alcohol, specifically. But, his new head, his Kabitsko head, still beautiful. 4 years old.
This is where me mentioning the Demon Ferret's age comes in. Django is 4 years old, but he's like just 4 in May. So yeah, he's 4 and she's also 4, but she's still very much older than Django.
It's like it's brand new. I'm not going to be replacing that thing for a long time. And I haven't had to repair one stitch, not one, on that head. It's held up beautifully. It's a wonderful piece of work. This juxtaposition is a really good way to show the example of when to replace a suit. I haven't had to replace a stitch in Django's version 2 head in 4 years. That head is probably going to be 10 at least before I have to replace it. And I can judge that. I figured that out my first year of owning him. This head, not so much. I knew that I was going to have to replace this. I didn't know how long it was going to take, but I knew it was going to happen. So, what did I do? Well, I put together a list of what I would want to see in the Demon Ferret version 2. And I told myself, when this day comes, you will find a maker who can fit these qualities, who you can afford at that time, and you will not hesitate. And you will make sure that you do it when the suit has at least 2 more years of life. And at this point, the suit's balding. And I can still fix it. I can still ladder stitch this thing up the wazoo to fix the bald spots. But that's not going to last forever. There's going to be a point where ladder stitching is going to create more bald spots. And from my experience, I have that 2 years left. And thus, I found Roofer. And I got very lucky with them. And that would be the same advice I'd give anyone. Assess the quality of your suit when you get it. When you first get it. And try to figure out how long it might last. Now, if you don't have any experiences with fursuits, like I really didn't when I made this, you might say, alright, we'll see how it goes, but once I get to point X, then I will do Y. In my case, point X was 2 years left of life. Point Y was go ahead and commission the new suit. Giving myself that 2 years for the commission to be made and completed. See where the logic goes here. And sometimes you just have to replace a head, like I'm going through right now. Sometimes freak accidents happen. And you can't really account for these. But when they do happen, don't get hung up. Yes, fursuits are very special to us, but in the end, they are still just objects. They are not alive, as much as some of us personify them, or anthropomorphize them, or whatever you want to call it. They just don't live. This thing doesn't feel anything. I can damage it, yes. I should respect it. I should appreciate its fragility. But I should also understand that I shouldn't feel bad about replacing it. The emotion should lie with the character, not in the suit itself. And I know that might sound a little harsh to some of you. But it's something that I've had to get over. Like when I had to replace Django. It's the first time I ever had to do something like that. And it broke my heart when I found out that I had no choice but to replace that head.
The recent situation, not Django.
I actually cried. No joke. I'm gonna lose some points here for my dignity. But I cried. Yeah. It was an emotional night. But I've come to terms with it. I've had to remind myself, this happens, it is a costume. Whatever I do will only improve it. because I'm improving upon the character, I'm not destroying it. So if you ever get kind of iffy about replacing a suit, and because of that, you're allowing your suit to go into disrepair, just think about it that way. You're improving upon the character by fixing the suit. It's a good way for me to get over it, and it might help you. So yeah, I know that this video is more for fursuit owners, rather than people who want to own fursuits. So I'm hitting a minority population here. But I think it's something that really should be touched on. Because again, I see so many people who allow their suits to go into disrepair and they do nothing. They allow this horribly mangled suit to run around and they let it go for years and years and years. And everyone starts making fun of them and starts putting them down for it. And they do it because they love the suit. They don't want to let it go. You have to be able to let go. Just a short little video to talk about a little topic that I think needs to be touched on more. And if you do want to see videos on why you should get a suit or why you should not get a suit, I've seen so many people touch on these. But if you really want to see me do it and see if I take a different take, you can ask in the comments below. I would have no problem doing more videos like this on a sort of similar topic. But like I've said in the past, I don't like doing what everyone else does. So if you really want to see it, I can see if I can put my own spin on it, touch on things that other people don't. But otherwise, I'd probably just leave this at this. And you can go to, other channels to see the other topics. Because it's so standard to me. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any topic suggestions, leave them in the comments. I'm always open to topics. Especially ones that you want to see. So, with that, I'll see you guys later. Bye!